Hey, so I want to do this training today because so many times I've heard people say, oh, actually, it's not the right time to meet the right one. Actually, it's the perfect time. And I will dive into why in just a moment. I have found that so many people love to be able to use this because there's often an element of fear. Meeting someone who's amazing, who could potentially be your life partner, can be scary because if you think about it, so many different things change in your life as a result of meeting the right person. Now, let's actually talk about what a healthy relationship is and what it looks like. Because when I have people come to me and I say, right, what does a lovely relationship look like to you? People go, oh, I don't know. So let's actually talk about this and what it actually looks like to begin with. So to start off with, we all know what an awful relationship's like. You have that walking on eggshells feeling. You find little bits of your life just slipping away. You find that you lose yourself. You don't feel supported. You start losing that time with your friends, your family, or it just becomes more strained and there's more chaos and there's more problems. And you end up just feeling completely depleted, in those relationships. I think when I was in a toxic relationship, I remember how much I just wanted to sleep all the time. I just didn't feel like getting off the sofa. Like even down to the health issues that tend to happen as well from those types of relationships. It's scary what the wrong relationship can do. So we already know this. So why don't we talk about what the healthy relationship looks like and what a healthy relationship can do? So let's talk a little bit about the emotional side first. Okay. When you're in the right healthy relationship, one of the big things I tend to notice is how it soothes your nervous system. I always say to people, like, the difference between an unhealthy relationship and a healthy relationship is an unhealthy relationship will activate your nervous system a good 80% of the time. A healthy relationship will soothe your nervous system 80% of the time. It's amazing to have a space where you feel safe to be you. If I think about my own relationship, I can act like an absolute weirdo in that relationship and I can feel safe to do that. We can be playful, we can have fun, we can say stupid jokes, we can talk about really intimate, deep things without judgment, without the fear of that person recoiling and taking away love. Whereas an unhealthy relationship, there's that thing around using love and using vulnerability is almost like a weapon to control the relationship, to control the beliefs. So a healthy relationship, there's not that control. There's just unconditional love. You get loved for who you are. And then as a result, you get lifted up. Like if I think about the difference in my confidence levels and my own self-worth as a result of a healthy relationship. Wow, it's so different. And the funny thing is, this is what I see with all my clients too. Like all of a sudden they start up leveling their lives. Like one of my clients who she met her partner a few months later, she decided to quit her job and she started her own business, which is just absolutely amazing. Other clients, they start changing different elements of their lives where they've decided to move to different places or, create or, go and explore different hobbies or things like that or travel more. Their life is so much more emotionally fulfilled. And one of the things I tend to hear is they just feel content. So what would life feel like if you felt safe to be you, if you felt like you could be loved for who you are? Where you feel supported, where you're not questioning whether that person loves you or whether you can trust them or whether they're the right one. None of that even enters your mind. You know you're safe, you know you're loved, you know that you feel fulfilled, you've got energy again, you've got all these amazing things going for you. And this is the difference, emotionally, you feel like you're a team. Okay, you're a team. And that's that amazing feeling of just feeling safe, feeling secure, feeling like no matter what, you've got each other's back. So there's a big difference Then let's talk about like, things like your social life in a healthy relationship. What does that look like? Your friends and family loves your partner. You don't have to go, oh my gosh, do I need to hold their hand to make them feel safe around your family and friends? You feel safe to be able to allow them to see them, and your friends and family feel happy for you, and you can just feel good about those interactions. Whereas an unhealthy relationship, they'll be like, oh, I don't like so and so. And there's automatically that friction. Often, the unhealthy partner will actually create a lot of that friction within those relationship dynamics, making it really hard to be able to enjoy your friends and your partner together. So, the other part of this as well, I'm going to talk about is, you have independence as well. You have that freedom to go and see friends, to see family on your own. You don't feel like you need to, you still have your independence where you can enjoy your own life. And you also have that ability to be able to enjoy each other's lives too, where you can enjoy each other's friends and all those different things. There's not that level of control, because often, like, unhealthy relationships, there's like control where you're not really allowed to see someone, or you're getting constantly messaged or text when you're out without them. You don't have that horrible feeling. Then you've got things like financial. If you think about it, when you're in a relationship, especially a healthy relationship, it's all about how can you build that healthy life together? How can you build the life that both of you desire, that both of you are prioritizing, that both of you want? And how can you work together to be able to create that? Often with unhealthy relationships, there's often the unhealthy partner who tends to focus what's in it for them. And often you can end up feeling financially depleted as a result of those relationships. Yay! And then it's not to go on to say about what happens to your job, what happens to your financial health, because things like that often decline in the wrong kind of relationships. Healthy relationships, you're supported, you've got that confidence, you're often going to get promotions, often things are going to change in your life. You're going to do things together so you feel supported. So that's super, super important too. Then you've got physical. Usually, like, your health improves as a result of having a healthy relationship, because your body's not filled with cortisol and your nervous system's not activated the way it was. Plus, healthy relationships, you're often doing things more together. Like, you know, there's the naughty stuff like sex, but you're also doing other things too. You're often going out, you're enjoying yourselves. You're doing things that you both love, and as a result, your physical health improves too. There's actually there's like a load of studies where it shows what the ability of a healthy relationship has, like the total effects that it has on your health. And I totally believe it, because in a healthy relationship you sleep better. In a healthy relationship you have lower levels of cortisol. Even down to when you're in a healthy relationship, your partner actually can decrease your levels of pain through just their presence alone. There's like scientific evidence about all these different things. Go and check it out. But the healthy relationship really does have a huge impact on things like health too. Then you've got the intellectual elements too. So, like, what's it feel like when you're having a conversation with someone who really gets you, that really understands you, that wants to test out your thinking, and who kind of like helps you to up level because they're curious, they're exploring things with you. There's that genuine interest, and as a result you're more mentally stimulated. I mean, what does it feel like when you're with someone who's not at your intellectual level? It's hard work having a conversation, it feels difficult. And then let's talk about your overall, I don't like the word mission or purpose. I don't know, it just feels too fluffy. But let's talk about like your overall life goals, of the things that you really prioritize. If you've got someone who goes, yeah, I've got very similar life goals to you, or I've got the same life goals to you, how much easier is it to be able to create a relationship where you're enjoying that, where you're enjoying the flow of that? It feels fun, it feels exciting, it feels like you're playing a game almost, because you're both working together towards the same thing. And then what happens when you've got someone who's like, no, I don't want this and I want things to look like this? You're going to feel like you're compromising. I hate that word when it comes to relationships. Like, I've got so many different beliefs around, relationships and dating compared to a lot of other coaches. I don't believe in compromise. If you feel like you're compromising, you're in the wrong relationship because if you both want different things, you're never going to feel happy and you're just going to feel resentment. Not good. So, what does it feel like when you're actually with someone who wants the same things as you, who prioritize similar things to you, who just gets you, who understands you, where you feel safe, you feel like you can be you can enjoy all the different things with them, you can enjoy different things without them. You've got that freedom. And that's what I feel like a healthy relationship really brings. And guess what? Anyone can have that. Like when I say that, when I say anyone can have that, it's true. So let's talk about, and I've got my little thingy plan here because I really want to dive into this so bad. And I want to make sure you get everything that you need from this. Let's talk about why people believe it's not the right time for them when it comes to meeting the right person. Truth is, there's often a vulnerability. There's often like a fear or, past trauma or past experiences that makes them believe that they can't have the right relationship. So rather than being able to face it, it's almost like, right, let's put it on back burner because I can't deal with that right now. I can't deal with the disappointments, the fear, the distrust, the betrayal. I can't deal with that again. And often people are afraid to be able to confront that and to be able to find a way to be able to come around that. And I totally get it. I totally get it. I mean, from my own experiences, I went through, a relationship or a couple of relationships with people with very high psychopathic traits and sociopathic traits. And when you've been with someone that gives that level of deception, who wants to cause a high level of harm towards you, it's scary to be able to trust. It's scary to be able to open your life up to people again. It's scary, and I get it. I even had, other clients who went through narcissistic relationships that went through painful divorces. I've had, clients who have, even lost their husbands and, they've been widowed and they've going back into the dating world again in fear, wondering whether they can meet someone who's as good as their past partner. It's okay to have that fear. What's not okay is allowing it to rule your life. Because on the other side of this, I have seen people who have missed out their chance of having kids because they've put dating on the back burner for so long, their body clock, we've all got one. They've missed out on that opportunity, and it's tough. It's tough seeing people go through that level of pain because it's not something you can change, it's not something you can reverse. The other thing is I've seen people just go through life and feel like they've had to burden everything on their own. And, it's not to say that independence is a bad thing. It's not. It's great. But when you see people going through it for like 5, 8, 10 years and they feel alone and they've had to learn to almost like put this massive barrier up. You're talking about a barrier that someone's put up for like, years and years and years and years. That doesn't come down overnight. It doesn't. That takes practice, that takes time, that takes a lot of work. You think about the effects that can have. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. But it's doable. And I think this is the thing that tends to hold people back. It's their belief that it's not possible for them to meet the right person. Let me tell you this. It is, but you need the right support. I don't believe in the whole scripts thing. I don't believe about being genuine. I believe you being you and you being able to meet someone who has a high level of emotional intelligence. And there's ways to be able to tell that from even just looking at a dating profile. This is things that I share with my clients, and it allows them to meet people really quickly. And it also allows them to stop wasting time and energy on people that are wrong for them. There's nothing worse than going into a relationship and then thinking, 3, 6 months, 12 months in, oh shit, this is not the right person. You don't want to go through that. So, okay, let's take a few steps back. So, let's talk about this. The perfect timing. Okay. Tell me one thing in your life that there was the perfect timing for. There's not. Timing is all about what you choose to prioritize at the time. And the thing that I tend to see is a lot of people are afraid to prioritize themselves. A lot of people are afraid to put themselves first. A lot of people are afraid to say, do you know what? This is what I want, unapologetically. Because it's this big notion about you shouldn't want a relationship. Why not? We are literally driven by connection, even down to they did an experiment, and this is an awful experiment, with, babies. And they literally gave them everything that they needed from, you know, food, that all those different, like keeping them warm, keeping them clothed. But what they did is they didn't give them any human reaction, like interaction. And unfortunately, all of those babies actually died because they had something called fail to thrive syndrome. And the reason I'm telling you this, because yes, it's an awful experiment, but it shows that we have a need for human connection. We have a need. It's the same as hunger. It's the same as breathing air. We need it. Okay, we need it to survive. We need it to have a fulfilled life. Okay, that is the truth. And I'm not talking about, necessarily needing a relationship. We need people just in general. But when it comes to an intimate relationship, this has the ability to impact every area of your life. This is why it's so important to be able to pick the right partner, because they are going to have such a huge impact and influence on your life, whether you like it or not. Okay, because our core relationships influence so, so much when it comes to our life. So the perfect timing doesn't happen, because the thing is, we've got no control over, our life and what happens. We've only got control over ourselves, the information that we have, our actions that we take. These are the things that we have control of. Okay, that's the truth. So what would happen if you could give yourself the knowledge that you need, the support that you need, the belief in yourself to be able to go and meet someone who is right for you? Amazing things will happen. And this is what I find of a lot of my clients. They come to me, they think they're not going to be able to meet the right person. They think they're going to be my first failed client. And the truth is, it's not the case. They gain that momentum. They start seeing love in a completely different way. They start understanding why they've got into the wrong relationships and why they've ended up with the right relationship in the end. And that's the exciting part, because it's empowering. Okay, this is super, super important. So let's talk a little bit about how they shifted their mindset from, oh my gosh, I can't do this, to, oh, actually, it's really easy going into the right relationship. It's making sure that you aren't in a place of, I can't do this, there's no right people out there, and it's that fear, scarcity mindset. The truth is, there is, I don't know, how many billions and billions of people in the world? You're telling me out of all of them, there's not just one person that's nice, that's aligned to you, that's compatible with you. No, that's not the case at all. There's someone out there for everyone. And I truly do believe that. So it's being able to have a look at your belief system of what you actually believe love is. Okay, and whether it's really possible for you, because the more that you believe it's possible for you, the more confidence you're going to have in terms of being able to meet the right person. And the truth is, if you're here, if you're watching this video, you know it's possible for you. So this leads me on to the next part. It's then going back to knowledge, and the right knowledge. I actually disagree with a lot of the main, dating influencers out there, because I don't believe in scripts. I don't believe that the main issue with relationships is communication. Okay, we've got loads of information out there about how to communicate, but we've still got divorce stats, which are like 50%, right? So my belief is around my IQ framework, my Love IQ framework, and also about so many different things when it comes to compatibility and how to date and how to meet the right person. And this is why all my clients go on to long-lasting relationships as a result, because we do things based on strategy, we do things based on empathy, and we do things based on emotional intelligence. And I don't see that out there when it comes to other dating coaches. I don't. Okay. And this is the problem. This is why so many people end up in the wrong relationships. So let's actually talk about the fears, okay? Because when you've gone through awful relationships in the past, it can be so scary, and I get it. Someone who's gone through like, I think my own story, if I told you my story, it would seem like a really dark documentary to you. I remember at the time when I was coming out of it going, oh my gosh, how do I end up here? And it can cause so much fear when you go to move on to the right relationship, because and you've experienced the worst case scenarios, and it's terrifying because the first thing that comes into your mind is, I can't do this again. I can't go through that again, because it takes time to actually heal. It takes time to build yourself up. It takes time to find out who you actually are. It takes time to understand what you want. It takes time to build your life back up. And if that's you, well done, because it takes so much. And the scary thing is, everyone looks at you and go, well, you're fine, you're doing okay, but they don't know what's going on in here and in here. So I just want to commend you, and I see you, and I want to sort of celebrate you for overcoming that. Now it's kind of coming back to, do you want to stay in that old chapter, or are you ready to turn that page and go into the next chapter of being able to meet the right person for you? This is what it's all about. It's all about having a look at what's next. It's not about, let's go over that old chapter again and again with so many therapists and all the freaking rest of it, so it starts re-traumatizing you and it gets you to stay in that freaking mindset. No, stop that. They have taken so much of your life already. It's time for what's next. It's time for what is in store for you. What are you prepared to do to be able to create the life that you want, and also the relationship that you want, the love, the intimacy, the depth, the trust, and what you get to create together with that. Whether it's having a family, whether it's buying your dream home, whether it's traveling, whether it's creating a shit ton of amazing memories. It's up to you, but you've got to turn the freaking page, okay? Because it's just all about, it's all about why now is the right time for you to prioritize you. Why now is the time for you to be able to move into that next chapter. It's about why now is the time for you to start living your life fully, and why now is the time for you to stop that old past situation, stories, person, exes, who gives a shit, why they shouldn't have time. Why they shouldn't have control over your life anymore. They've had enough of it. They've had enough of the time that you've invested in that relationship. They've had enough of, your time, your energy, your tears. It's time to start going into what's next, what's going to excite you, what's going to give you that amazing feeling of, this is where I'm meant to be. This is what I'm meant to have. This is the love I'm meant to experience. This is my life that I am living right now, that I am loving, I am enjoying, I'm embracing, and I'm excited about what's next. And that's exactly what I want for you. This is what we can do together if that is what you want to do next. And if you do, awesome. Let's go ahead. Let's book a love life analysis. We can go into what's going on for you, what you actually desire. And if you're not sure about that yet, or what you want next, that's okay. We can figure that out together. A lot of people don't. But this is about, what are you doing to prioritize you? Because as soon as you start getting to that stage and you start looking at, going into that next chapter, magical things happen. And this is what I want for you. Okay. The thing is, I can want this as much as possible for you, but the truth is, you need to want that for you too. So this is your choice. Okay. What are you going to do to prioritize you? And why is this the right time for you to prioritize you? So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Give you all the love, and I hope you have the most wonderful day. Take care, and bye for now.